The Athene Real Talk Podcast explores controversial ideas to stimulate debate and active thinking. These ideas do not always reflect Athene's personal views. Welcome to the Athene Real Talk Podcast.
He has been called the best gamer in the world, hands down.
World-famous gamer and philanthropist Athene.
Gaming for Good, it's called, has raised more than $20 million.
Using his notoriety to raise money for charity.
On activism, science, culture, and self-development.
Proud to have him in the studio today. I would not want to take you on in a video game.
What I realize is that integrity is fundamental to all of us. The reason why I use the word integrity is because it's a word that you guys are already quite familiar with. Some people might think like, what is he talking about? So I will explain what I mean with integrity, although it's more an emotion than it is a description. So even if I try to describe what I mean with integrity, it's a state where you act in line with your values. But even when I say values, I don't mean you have these ideas about this is right, this is wrong, therefore I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. It's not about labels. It's about really acting in line with who you truly are. So in order to even have the ability to have integrity, you got to know yourself. If you don't know yourself, you can't have integrity. Knowing yourself is fundamental in order to have integrity. But how do you know yourself? Because when I say know yourself, people go like, what do I think? Whatever. It's about understanding your emotions and finding the consistency in it through concepts by really following the emotion and going like, okay, I feel like this because of that, and I feel like that because of that, and really being able to understand why you do, what your needs are, and being able to really put them into words for you. That's how you can more and more act with integrity. When your emotions and your concepts are aligned and you're not lying to yourself, you're not lying to other people, you're not taking advantage of other people. And I'm saying a lot of things here that you might say like, yeah, but man, you told me that you don't mind lying. You told me that you don't mind taking advantage. The thing is that when it's about growing integrity and me explaining it to you guys, taking advantage is something you shouldn't be doing. And you can say like, what about if it's for the bigger cause, if it's for the bigger good and such. It's going too much into rare situations in your life. Most of the time you won't even be in these spots. So I don't want to go too much into theory crafting, exceptions and stuff. It's just overall people that just know like, okay, integrity is crucial in my life. I need to act in line with what I truly am. Okay, what do you mean with that? I'm just trying to explain it because I know that a lot of people that are watching this stream don't even know what integrity is. They don't even understand what it is. They never learned it. But I'm just explaining it right now, and I will go into more practical examples because it's only when you get practical examples that you'll be able to really relate what I'm saying. So there is something I realized, because to me integrity is extremely important. I always want to do what is right, even if it goes at the cost of myself. And that is why people trust me. That's why people came over here. Because I always do what is right. The problem is that what was doing what is right is defined by your understanding. And sometimes you can think something is right while it's not right. So me manipulating people and really pushing the right buttons, I thought it was the right thing to do because it helped the bigger picture. It helped more people, So for me, it was nothing wrong to push buttons, to manipulate people, to do whatever, to lie to people. It didn't matter because I knew in the bigger context, it helps kids. Because it was never about me. It was not about my own benefits. I didn't benefit from it myself. The problem though is that doing what is right is always defined by your understanding. And if your understanding is wrong, is limited, then you might get to do things and really go away for quite a while without realizing that you're basically doing more harm than good. I'm not saying that I'm doing more harm than good. I'm just saying that I could have done a lot more good. And that's why I made the apologize video, why I made the stream about where I explained where I could do things better. But the thing is like when it comes down to fundamental mechanic about integrity, I wanted to talk a bit about that, and I will also talk about relationships. Like when you're together with a girl or a girl together with a guy, I also want to talk about that because it's the biggest source of examples for this specific topic about integrity. A fundamental part of integrity and something that was already part of me, but not in the sense, not complete, was to take other people's needs, to respect them. I always thought I respected other people's needs because if they have food, if they have a roof above their head, they can change the world, right? All these other emotional needs or whatever, come on man, you just use your understanding, you overcome that shit, right? Thing is though, it doesn't work like that. And it's because of that missing piece of information that I was treating people really in a way that was damaging them because I didn't truly take their needs into account. And I know people do that constantly. Society is completely built on taking advantage of each other. And we don't really think so much in win-win. We take in how can we gain from something rather than how can we have mutual benefit. We are in a very scarcity needy kind of society where it's even promoted. If you can take advantage, if you can gain, you won the hustle, you did good. But the thing is though that even though this might make you feel in the short term like you win, you always lose in the long term. And it applied also to me, my need to contribute, right? To put it that way. Even though it was not for me, it was a need for me to contribute. And I'm just using these words to simplify it. My need to contribute was not taking into account others' needs because I didn't think they were even relevant. But that was because I didn't understand that these were needs that were truly needed. The reason why having true integrity requires you to respect other people's needs is because you, me, myself, I got where I am because my needs were fulfilled. So if I take that away from other people, I'm not being fair. So integrity has a lot to do with consistency, being consistent with who you are. And as a result, if your integrity entails respecting other people's needs, then when you're in an interaction, it really shines. You really trust me and you feel safe because you know that I want to also take care of your needs. When I say needs, I'm not talking about Lamborghini. If you want a Lamborghini, that's not a need. Like, I'm talking about the core needs. Why do you need a Lamborghini? And you go further until the point where you see, like, I want to belong. Well, that need I can provide. So there is when you come about pleasing. What is pleasing? Pleasing is basically giving in to someone's need when they're going about it in a way that is not in line with your integrity. Taking advantage is you use someone's lack of need to gain something out of it yourself without respecting their need. And that is where most of the disconnect was here, because people knew that I had good intent because I wasn't doing it for myself. But since I was still using them in order to gain for the benefit of the world, since there was no connection with this contribution need, with this bigger picture, they really felt like, in a sense, taken advantage of, even though it was very hard for them to place. And as a result, they channeled it through themselves. They blamed themselves. They said, like, this guy only tries to do good and I'm obviously fucking up like crazy. So that's why this environment could be quite traumatic to certain people, because I wasn't fulfilling their needs, but they didn't have the ability to channel it in any way except themselves, because I obviously wasn't taking advantage of them. I was just trying to have a bigger impact. And it's really hard to see these things and put these things in a way that makes sense, because when you have a certain need and you don't truly embrace that because you don't know yourself emotionally, you can really get quite lost when the other person has quite powerful rhetoric. So integrity is really about being consistent and truly respecting other people's needs and trying to provide them in a way that is aligned with your integrity, and where the situation is also where you get your own needs fulfilled as well. And this brings about a behavior where you can really treat people saying, like, yeah, I understand that you want this, that you need this, but the way you go about it is not right. And I'm not going to reward that behavior. But at the same time, I do really care about your needs and I will take care of them in a way that is more consistent. And the most consistent way of going about your needs and your integrity is understanding. Emotional and rational understanding. You got some people that use religion. You got many people that have their own integrity foundation, to put it that way. But I would say that understanding is the most powerful one. It's about getting your needs, and integrity based on understanding can get you anything. You just need to understand it. And if you help other people understand that when they want to get their needs, and make them understand, like, hey, if you understand, then you can also make me understand because you would also understand me, brings about much better communication, brings about a framework that is so much more enriching. I understand that a lot of people, I've already said it before, are quite inspired by what I achieved and my dedication and such, and as a result use me as an example. But because of the way I went about things, I was giving actually a bad example. I was making it look like it's fine to manipulate, it's fine to control, it's fine to push the buttons, it's fine as long as it's for the better of the world, whatever. But the thing is, like, if you are in a stage where you're more trying to get what you need, then I'm being a pretty bad example. Because you really think the end justifies the means, And that is not the case when the end is your own personal needs. That's not the case at all. I understand now that that was not the best way of going about it. And that's why I'm talking now about integrity and respecting other people's needs. Because that's just much more accurate. It will give you more trust and much more safety being like that. And it's always something you can fall back on your own integrity. I will give an example of relationships. Because relationships can be extremely enriching. And I'm mainly talking from a guy perspective. Because a guy gets to understand his emotions when he's dealing with a girl, because a girl is much more emotional. Also reads your emotions better than you do in many cases. So having a relationship and dealing with a relationship in a way that is respectful can highly help you grow. So basically when you're in a relationship and you have a girl and she says to you, what do you want to watch? And you say like, what do you want to watch? You don't understand what the girl is asking. The girl is asking, I would like you to tell me what I want to watch. Because since a girl is more emotional and has certain needs she wants to fulfill, if you show that level of integrity that you really care about her needs and want to fulfill it, she doesn't mind following your lead. And I'm not saying here that girls can't take care of herself or whatever. Same with guys, you know. If a guy has a father figure that he really trusts, then he doesn't mind having the father figure taking the lead either. What I'm just trying to explain here is what a girl wants more than anything is a guy with integrity that knows what is right, but that also respects her needs and can achieve them in a way that are respectful and within integrity. So if you are a guy and you're trying to please a girl, you're going about it wrong. Because sometimes girls have learned to go about relationships in a certain way, same with guys, that is not good. And you shouldn't reward that behavior by pleasing them. That doesn't mean you disregard their needs, because you can still really pinpoint and really say like, yeah, I understand that you have these needs and I care for you and I will help you achieve them. And I will give you guys a very, very, very concrete example. A lot of guys get their safety and their confidence out of being able to control a girl. And the way it works is a girl has the need for safety, the guy provides it, and he uses it as a bargain chip to get the girl to do what he wants. This is really relationship 101. This is omnipresent on the planet. In every relationship I see it. And it's really like on both sides, where you use the needs in order to take each other hostage or to take advantage or whatever. But that's not a healthy relationship. On the other hand, a healthy relationship is that you act with integrity, and that integrity includes respecting the girl's needs. And if you know that she's with you for safety, what you do is you try to help her to become independent and get the safety out of herself. Because then, not only will she have more respect for you and feel more safe with you, but she will also be able to grow, and the relationship would be able to grow, and you would be able to grow. So the only reason why you have this need to hold to her needs and be in control over it is because you lack confidence. But if you have integrity and you can get the confidence out of that, then you don't need to be needy. And it's really something that I realized like crazy. I don't know if this helps people, but this could really improve you guys' relationships like crazy. But it requires you to be emotionally intelligent. It requires you to experience the emotions, align them with your ideas. And I think the Real Talk can help greatly in that regards. And these are very specific tips, because I also sometimes talk to guys here about what they can do. And sometimes they come to me and they say like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? And I just tell them like, man, drop all this manipulating, pushing buttons, control. Don't do that. Just be yourself, have integrity and care for her needs. It's fine to make mistakes. Because as guys, we have this tendency to overanalyze everything and make all these crazy plans. But the thing is, when you have real integrity and you grow in that you don't need these plans. These plans are just merely a mask to cover up your lack of confidence in your own integrity. But you can fall back on your integrity if you build it on understanding, and if it also includes, obviously, respecting other people's needs. So yeah, I just wanted to explain that, because I see also like the relationship from girls to guys as well. Like a girl wants a guy to have integrity, to be a leader, and can very easily fall into a pattern where, for example, they push their partner to be more independent thinking, and push them to make certain choices, even though they don't fully agree with that, because it allows them to make them feel like, oh yeah, this person is more independent. But if a guy follows up to please the girl rather than based on his own integrity, it does more harm than good as well. And I'm just saying like the reason why you have this synergy is because on a fundamental level there is a lack of understanding and there's a lot of miscommunication. But as long as you have integrity, which entails you just being truly who you are and doing what you believe is right, which includes respecting other people's needs, because that is fair, because that's what you needed to get where you are. You can really create a very, very powerful romantic relationship, or even in your business, at work, everywhere. Success will just come to you because it gravitates charisma, it gravitates trust, it gravitates safety. And that's the reason why you guys even watch my stream. That's why I make so much money doing sellout streams. It's because I gravitate this integrity. And I realize that that is what I should give you guys. That's what I should give you guys more than anything. It's integrity. And its integrity is not based on what I say. I can be an inspiration, I can be an example. But integrity is you doing what you believe is right and really understanding yourself emotionally, using understanding, and use me as an inspiration because you see that it works. Obviously, if I was preaching these things and nothing would work, it would be a different story. You guys wouldn't even give a shit. But because it does, you guys get to trust and try it out. And I'm telling you, this advice will help you guys so much in life. There's a few guys here as well where I talked and they really think a lot about this integrity, put their emotions more into concepts and stuff and really growing tremendously. And they ask me like, how do I strengthen this integrity? The best advice I can give, once you have really, meditated on it and really thought about it, is to actually just get a girlfriend and treat her with integrity. That's my best advice. Once you've grown to a certain point where you really think you can handle it. But you can train it by just reflecting and meditating on it. But having a girlfriend can help you guys so much with this advice. Because you will learn so much about emotions and such. But don't be needy. You gotta understand. It's this neediness that is pushing her away. Just hook up with any girl? No. It's about integrity. Integrity is very important. You shouldn't hook up with a girl when it goes against your integrity. It depends from person to person. You gotta first figure out. Reflect on your emotions. Put them into concepts. Try it out. Another big tip I can give you is to increase your testosterone. Your testosterone helps you to be more focused and clear-headed, and you can get more testosterone by working out, weightlifting, or meditation. You can also get testosterone by meditation because it makes you more clear-headed. Lobo Soldier says, I'm ugly as fuck, there is no chance for me. Look at me. You think I look good? I mean, look at my hair, look at my nose. It's not about being attractive, bro. It's not about the looks. For the people that doubt themselves, like I cannot get a girlfriend or whatever, understand why you feel that way. Follow the emotion and don't feel bad about yourself. There is nothing wrong about you. It's fine to make some mistakes. Don't think you're not worth it or whatever. It's not true. If I would think that I was not worth it, I would literally be sitting next to you right now. And I would also be sad. But the only difference between me and you is not so much our essence. I'm just like you, bro. The only difference is that I allowed myself to make mistakes. I accepted myself for who I am. And I didn't blame myself. But if I would blame myself, I would also, just like you, think like, I'm not worth it or this or that. But I'm telling you, you are. All of you guys are. You guys are all worth getting a good girlfriend and, growing and being fulfilled. All of you guys are worth it. So don't tell yourself, look but what I did or this or that, your actions or whatever, man. Your actions can change, you can learn. It's about trusting yourself, trusting your ability to understand, build your integrity, understand your emotions. Do some push-ups, man. You can stand up and get yourself out of any situations you are. You can do it. You might have some lack of confidence, thinking like, but man, a thing you don't understand. Like, I'm telling you, you fucking can. And the reason why you can is because you have so much fucking potential. The only reason why you think you can't is because you blame yourself for everything that happened or whatever. But follow your emotion, man, and you will really see on a fundamental level there is nothing wrong with you. If you accept that, you're gonna feel this inner fire. Do some push-ups, do some workout, get that testosterone going. Understand how important integrity is, respect others' needs. And if you go about life that way, you will see it's gonna go better. Of course you're gonna make mistakes, that's life. When you get triggered, right? Let's say you get angry or you get, just try at that moment when you experience the emotion, try to understand why you get triggered. Try to understand why you get anxiety. Let's say you're around friends and you feel really anxious, right? Because they are all so fluent. Just think, why am I actually feeling anxious? Put it into words. A lot of people don't understand. Sometimes girls, mainly pretty girls, when they don't get what they want, they can get very angry, they can get triggered, they can use their ego, and they used to get what they want that way. But the thing is though, the reason why they get triggered is because their need is not being satisfied. But if you, as a boyfriend, can point out that she doesn't need to use ego and she can just use understanding instead to get what she needs, and you say like, I don't want to reward ego, then ego won't be present anymore in relationship. Same with neediness. I realized even in my own relationship that the reason why neediness was a part of it is because I always rewarded it. But it's only now that I realize it that it's completely gone because I don't reward it anymore. And it's actually quite quickly that it managed to fade away. So I'm really saying like being able to understand these things, even rewatching the Real Talk, it can help you tremendously. Athene, what about girls who lead a guy in a relationship? I would always say and advise integrity for everyone. But of course, the person that is more taking the lead is the one that has more ability to guide the other partner to what he or she needs. And this information is as important. It's like if you're a girl and you are more the leading person in the relationship, respect the other partner's needs and go about it in a way that has integrity. So you think a good boyfriend, girlfriend is needed to grow? It depends. It's not about having a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend. Like I will talk mainly from my own experience, right? Having a girlfriend and treating her with respect. And that doesn't mean please and give her whatever she wants. No, it's about taking care of her needs and understanding her emotionally can automatically get you have a rich relationship with a girl. But of course, if you don't have so much emotional intelligence, then having a good girlfriend that also respects your needs and is more caring can help tremendously. Do you need that to grow? No. But it is so far what I've come to understand one of the better ways to make you grow on an emotional level. Because man, I've been talking to people here as well. And the growth I see guys go through because of a girlfriend is so much more on an emotional level than if they're just single. And that is why when I look at it, I don't even know how to make them go through all this understanding, this emotional understanding, if it wasn't for them being in a relationship. So I'm just saying, like, for me, it's hard. I'm not saying it's a requirement, but it makes things a lot easier, though. Funky says, what if I don't want to grow and just stay who I am? If that is what you think is best, then that's what you do. But you got to question yourself, is that what you truly want? And why is that the case? Question yourself. Because growth is literally part of who we are. So if you say, I don't really want to grow, that means there's a blockade somewhere. And you can ask yourself the question and figure out what it is. Well, you have to run around her and show that you care. It's sad, not logical, but that's how it is. Rizla, that is if you please her. And that's not the way you truly give what she needs. If she needs safety, then you truly understand and listen to her and basically help her to get safety out of herself, rather than running around and trying to compromise basically on what she truly needs. Because pleasing, which is going about giving people's needs when it's not in line with your integrity, is not the best way of going about things. So let's say, for example, you're a vegetarian or a vegan. You get on a date. The girl really wants to go eat in a meat place. Okay, you want to order vegetarian. And she just looks at you and says like, man, I really feel criticized or whatever. This is something that I know happened. I know people where it happened. I know people even in relationships that stopped being vegetarian because of their girlfriend. And that's the thing, like if you give up your own integrity to please the girl, then not only do you get less attractive, but you also, what you really truly can fall back on, which is your own integrity, you lose that. But with integrity, you can really say like, I'm fine to give you understanding and acceptance and feel loved, but not like this. Through understanding, we can create a true connection with each other, not by just pleasing each other. That's not a real relationship. And I'm telling you, if you say these things and you go about it with integrity, a girl or a partner will just respect that so much. But if the girl is vegan and you're not, then you really have to stand your ground, Lou. Well, if the girl is vegan and you're not, even then you can, with integrity, say like, I don't mind eating meat. And if that is something that you do mind, and it's a big enough problem because you feel like this is not the kind of partner you would have, I would respect that. And then it's better to not have a relationship. Because it's very important to respect her needs. If she wants to be with a guy that is a vegan and you're not a vegan, she cannot force you to be not a vegan. She cannot impose her own needs to you. But what she can say though is, I'm looking for a vegan. If you reevaluate or whatever, then we can see, but else it's not the kind of guy that I want. And that's different because you go about each other's needs with respect. Let's say, for example, me. I would never want to be together with a girl that smokes. So if I would go on a date and the girl would light up a cigarette, I would just say, okay, like I didn't know you smoked. I'm truly fine with that. I'm not imposing that you should or shouldn't smoke, but for me, I'm looking for a girlfriend that doesn't smoke. And that's it. You just show it with respect and you move on.
Subscribe to youtube.com/AtheneWins. Watch the live stream at twitch.tv/AtheneLive and follow The Real Athene on Snapchat.